If you're lucky enough to fall in love with someone, try not to ruin it by Googling them.
The Contradiction with Lethea McCann and Byron McDonald.
Just to make sure you don't forget what we look like.
And we are live. Welcome to The Contradiction with myself, Byron McDonald, and Lethea McCann. As I say each week, and it happened this week, Facebook is a private-owned interface. So if you do get logged off, just hop back into the page and you'll find a new link there. We are multi-streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And we have an infamous guy this time because Facebook has blocked us for the first time in the whole year. So the government must be after this guy. I don't know. We need to see. We're going to find out.
But as I say each week, The Contradiction is about bringing different viewpoints together and allowing you, the viewer, the opportunity to comment and engage and share your viewpoint on the topic. So each week we get a new guest host with a new topic to discuss and contradict each other's viewpoints. So as Byron mentioned, we have an infamous guest host on tonight's show, and he is Karu Charu from Durban, South Africa. Karu is one of the most commercially successful comics and entertainers on the circuit. He boasts a host of sold-out shows across the country and has also performed internationally and has been handpicked to be the face of a McDonald's TV commercial. Karu also has the Karu Cares initiative helping private individuals and organizations for over 8 years. And his secret to his success is definitely his flamboyant style and his dynamic personality, which
And
he
his
will be bringing to the
festive
show
feeling.
tonight, and his festive feeling.
Only
So,
positive vibes.
So let's go ahead and bring on Karu.
Hey, you, how are you, man?
Ay. The infamous Carlo Charo.
You are wanted.
I know.
How have you been, Karu? How's everything on your side?
It's been a hectic couple of weeks, but yeah, we're good. Okay.
Cool, man. Just short and sweet. There's someone chasing you because this is the first time that we could not go live on Facebook. And I was like, what's happening? Someone is saying, link that guy off, link him off.
You cannot bring to the table what he has to say tonight.
Yes. No, I don't doubt that somebody might be trying to get me off your platform. And the fact that you guys are engaging with me, you guys better be worried as well.
Hey, don't worry.
But Karu is a controversial guy, and that is one of the reasons why we wanted to get you onto the show, onto The Contradiction, because we like contradicting each other on the show.
Exactly.
So you know why we got you on the show, and it is for the following topic. And you know you Indians.
You
So
idiots.
let's just put that topic on there because Indians is very family orientated. That is what I've come across in my personal experience being in a relationship with an Indian guy. So can you share your relationship issues with friends and family?
Woo! Hot topic. Hot.
Yeah, I think that's
Karu,
the
what
topic
is
we're
your
going to be
take?
discussing, right?
what is your take on this topic?
Yeah, my wife and I had this discussion. We had a couple of times, and I'm torn between what to do and what not to do. Because often I want to complain about my wife to other people, tell them that, and I want someone to come out and say that I'm right and she's wrong. And then, but that means sharing with other people. I think that's what the topic is about. Do we share or don't we share? So I'm caught here. I haven't made my mind up what to do. It depends on the situation. Like my wife does something, like she doesn't cook the curry well, then I go speak to my mother-in-law because she taught her how to cook the food. She sent it to me. So can I complain about that? Like the food story. Like she doesn't prepare food, she doesn't dish my food, doesn't prepare my, So those issues, can I complain about those issues? I think it's complicated. There's no right and wrong way.
So one woman just said they're jealous of him. That's why maybe you don't want to speak about it. Going to the earlier topic, someone said they're jealous of him. So I get how you feel, but is it a bit scary to talk about it because the wife around in the room? What's happening? I don't know. But sometimes we don't want to talk.
No, I'm a certified. So my wife listens to me. So there's one boss. Hold on. There's one boss in this house here. I'm the boss.
Is she
When
there?
I
Is she
speak,
there?
That's why I said hold on quickly. Wanted to see if she's out.
no, I close the door. She's somewhere in the house.
Where do you stand on this though?
I think it depends. I think you can share a relationship, not issues, but I think you can seek advice from somebody, a family member that you trust or a friend that you trust. But I don't think it should be a situation where you want to be the victim or play the victim in order to gain ammo to win some sort of argument against your partner. So a lot of
No,
people
but that
they
doesn't make sense. Why would I share if I'm not going to get support? I need a guy. I'm just telling you the story from my point of view, and I don't hear any other story besides. Caro, you're right. You should not have done that.
But
What are
that's
you
where
on
the
about?
problem comes in. You want somebody to tell you that you are right.
Oh,
No, I know I'm right. I'm just looking for somebody else to back me up.
But that's the problem. You said you're going to share your part, your version of the story. There's always two sides to a story. That's the thing. And when you do share it with family members or friends on your part, then they will have some sort of alliance towards you because
Exactly.
you are their friend or the family member, and they will.
Okay,
then-
let's first discuss what issues are you talking about? Is it like bedroom issues? Is it like social
Exactly.
issues? Entertainment issues? Let's get to that. What issues?
There. Good
Byron,
question.
how about you
Okay,
answer that?
let's start with this. You and your wife are at home now. Let's put it like this. Now your wife is maybe not cooking lekker for you. Now you want to go to your mother, and you can't tell your wife every night your food don't taste lekker. It's not tasting well. This is petty stuff, but this break up families though. Now you go eat by your mother consistently, and I'm a colored guy again. Mothers are very over us boys. They look after us boys. He must be fed. He must be looked after, and all those nonsense.
Ooh.
So
And we know sometimes mamas.
so now your wife can't cook, but you love her because she's accommodating the other stuff. So,
Yeah.
Or she doesn't cook.
So-
Or she doesn't cook.
So
Fam.
no. But can you go and say that to your mom? Look, your mom, she doesn't cook, and you already don't have. Women don't get along liquor. They don't click easily. Mother-in-law and daughter-in-law don't click easily. How do you tell your wife? My mother will teach you to cook, or my mother will talk to you, or let's rather eat by her.
Yeah, you see, food is a big thing in the Indian families.
Exactly.
And we value our food. So yeah, if my wife, by the way, let me just quantify this. My wife is the best cook. I eat the best food. She is the best cook. I eat the best food. I don't have that problem. And if I had to have a problem with her not cooking well, which will lead to the deterioration of my health, and the impact on our family and our whole structure, it's a serious matter. I will have to engage with my mom, find a way, because it's a serious problem. You can't have me undernourished, not eating well, not feeling well. So you don't understand, not about the food, not about the food. There's a bigger issues at play here. So sadly, my wife is not picking up on the hints that I'm not finishing my food, that my plate is still full, and I'm okay. I don't want to eat. She doesn't pick up on this. I will have to bring my mother in. I can't bring my mother-in-law in.
Ladies, did you hear that? Oh, I don't know.
I can't bring my mother-in-law in because my mother-in-law can't cook potatoes. Right?
What, did you hear that one? I can't bring my mother-in-law in because she can't cook either.
Yeah, so that's waste of time. So my mother cooks the best food. She's gonna talk to this lady and get it right.
Okay, so then where do you draw the line as to what you can share? I mean, couples, they argue, they disagree. Doesn't necessarily. It's difficult to pinpoint exactly what it is that that you think you can share or not. But couples generally disagree. So when you feel you want advice, or when you feel you want to vent, where do you draw the line? Or the question is, why do you feel the need to share with friends and family? What would the reasoning be behind sharing your
But
relationship issues with,
okay,
with family?
I'm gonna
with-
play devil's advocate here. You grow up with your cousin, you grow up with your mother, you grow up with your father. They know you best.
Okay.
You meet this new person. Yes, you've decided to make a choice to be in a relationship with this person, but there's so many divorce cases, so this person is not going to always be a person. Now you see, you lose friends when you get to a marriage. You lose family when you get into a marriage. All these nonsense, all these type of things. So I saw you send out the link to people for this one. Please just hop onto
Yeah.
Karu's page because that's where it is. Not on
Everybody is hopping onto the
live.
live.
So hop on this
and
page.
we
You
have
can
to kick them out all the
time.
time.
So hop on,
Kari,
hop on there.
you sent the wrong link. You sent the studio link and not the Facebook link.
Oh, okay.
So we're having people hop onto the show.
So I'm just letting them know. Anyway, but let me make my point. So my point is this. Yeah, where was I now? See, women make me forget. I'm joking.
Yes, they do.
That's a point I was making. So yeah, now you lose your guy friends, everything. Now she divorce you. Who do you go back to talk to because you haven't been talking to anyone?
Yes, you see, that's an important point. You see what I mean? We gotta keep our links with our guy friends and our contact bases.
that's becoming a woman, please. You need to comment. You need to support Nia because they are making it a female thing. It's not just woman against woman or mother-in-law when it against wife.
Mm.
There are also situations where the wife shares issues or problems because I think women are generally much more emotional beings.
Mm.
So they end up being the ones to vent or they feel they need some
No,
sort of
they're
emotion.
very, very emotional. They border on being a bit bipolar and psychotic.
Let's just go to comments. This is from a woman, and she says, "Family too jealous. You can't tell them shit if you want to keep it, you know." so a lot of family. Okay, you get that in a lot of families. Let's be honest. And then from a guy's point of view, no, you should not share, as the devil comes in different shapes and sizes. A relationship is between two people, not more.
Agree. I agree there with Herschel
Whew.
because
What do you mean the devil comes different shapes and sizes? I'm married to the devil's daughter. What's wrong with you guys?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stay offline. No wonder you
I know
said
the devil personally. And the devil can't cook. I'm telling you now, the devil can't cook. Don't bring the
bad.
devil into this.
I hope your wife isn't watching this because you're throwing her under the bus, Karu.
She's been
I hope she's commenting.
no, he didn't talk about his wife. He said the devil. He was talking
But
about
the devil. I didn't talk about wife. I said the devil. The devil. I'm married to the devil's daughter.
But here's the thing. People also, you don't know what people's intentions are when you do share those things with them.
Mm,
You don't know what their agenda is when they do give you advice.
mm,
So when you do seek advice and when you do share things with people, I think the very first person you need to talk to is your partner.
mm,
First speak to your partner. But I think sometimes people are afraid that their partner might not be able to be open to receiving or just to be open to receiving whatever the partner is
Exactly.
feeling.
mm.
So
Look,
that is when you
Anna-
seek advice. How do I handle the situation? How do I approach my partner when it comes to X, Y, and Z? We have issues here. It depends on your approach, I think,
Mm.
when seeking advice.
Okay, let's. What do you say?
Yeah. Well, on a serious note, look, it's never easy, and I think my thing is depend on the situation at hand. What is the problem? I would think communication is key, but let me not. That's like the ideal situation, the best situation. But maybe the fact of the matter is that some relationships don't have that level of communication. They don't have that level of communication, of understanding, and it's probably the big problem in a lot of relationships. Luckily, in my relationship, what I say goes. It helps a lot in terms of fixing problems. But look,
Whew.
we, somebody mentioned the devil here, right? If you go back to the Bible, I can't find the exact quotation, but it says, "Listen, we can solve a lot of problems in this world, a lot of marital problems in this world, if we listen to the Word of God, to the Bible." It says, "Wives, submit to your husbands. Submit to your husbands."
You can only
Submit.
submit to you can only submit to a man that is a true leader. You
I'm
cannot submit
talking. Can you please? I'm talking. You see, this is the problem, woman. I am talking and now she's talking over me. That's where the problem is. You see, understand the biggest problem is I'm talking and now she's talking over me. I'm
Respect
saying
the man.
go back to God. God showing us the way. Wives, submit to your husbands as you submit to the Lord. And if we all follow that, we wouldn't be having this conversation about contradiction. The world will be beautiful. Everyone will be happy.
but
All right, now on a
men,
serious note, let me tell you.
But I think
I'm gonna get-
I think she's making a point on let's go to comments rather. So let's take it. But so you wanted to probably say this. I think that's what you wanted to say.
yes, but give us something worth submitting to.
Ooh,
Exactly.
give us
Well,
something worth
but
submitting
my
to.
wife has this. What more does she want? I mean, what more does she want to submit to?
Let's
All
get
right,
those-
let me give you
Yeah.
let me give you the lowdown. What I think. I think on a more serious note, just messing around with the woman's story and my character and all that. Look, I've been in situations before where wife and I sort of hit a brick wall.
Mm.
I'm being stubborn in what I want to say. I think I'm right. She thinks she's right. So sometimes we look for somebody else to give us the guidance, or maybe I'm looking for someone to agree with me.
Mm.
And then many times they've said to me, hold on, dude, I think what you're doing is not right. I think you should do this. I think you should do that. So sometimes I think it depends on the situation. To be able to feed off somebody else whom you trust, whom you value, to point you in the right direction, not just give you silly advice. So I've been in a situation that before they've pointed me in the right direction, I realized, listen, I could have played the game a bit differently. If I approached it in another manner, I could have got the result that I desired or whatever. So yeah, we learn. So yeah, if that makes any sense, I don't know.
No, it does. It does make sense.
Byron, you actually did not say exactly.
Yeah, well, I
You
wanna-
haven't shared
I
your
want to give
perspective.
the viewers in hand.
Okay, let's go to the comments and then you. So, Bella says, keep your business in your house. Nothing funnier than the classic, oh, he or she is so this and that. Tomorrow you pitch up with the same family members and, oh, this is the love of my life.
Hmm.
Ah.
Okay, let me say something. So, on a serious note, I've not been taken seriously enough because I'm a man who must submit to. I'm joking. So anyway, so this is the thing from my side. It's a two-way. You need people in your life because you can also not just be with that one person as a communicator. And a lot of the professional help out there nowadays are not really so professional because it depends on how much your money can stretch or so. So that's also another thing. Not everybody has the money to make it stretch. Yeah. So you get what I'm saying.
Carry on.
You can hear me. So not everybody has that money to stretch it.
Yes.
So now my thing is, yes, you can talk to someone you trust, but also when you do speak about your partner, you must speak about it with the line of respect, not from a devious point of view where you're making your partner bad the entire time. You need to speak to that person with a line of respect. You can't just come in and say, yeah, this person has been treating me like this. Tomorrow, I'm going to see that person in a certain way. And mothers and fathers and people do it. Yeah, your dad has been a real asshole. Your dad has been a real this. Your mom, your mom has been a real this. Your mom has been a real this. You make trouble. The kids hate the one or the other, or they feel the certain way between the other. You're playing up people against each other. It happens in the household already.
Exactly.
So
100%. I think
line
if you
line
go
of
in,
respect.
carry on, go.
No, I was just saying there. It's just the line of respect.
And as he is it got MVP.
Guys, he traveled.
Okay. Yes, both deserve respect. So whenever you do, and I agree with what you say, that when you speak about your partner, I think that depending on how you speak about your partner, it's more of a reflection of your character because you're choosing to be with this person, but yet if you speak about this person in a disrespectful manner, it's showing more about your character rather than his or hers.
Exactly.
Because you're not giving them the due respect of your of being a partner in your life.
Yes, of course.
And I think that seeking knowledge or seeking advice from family, many of them, or we should also remember that our parents or our close relatives, they have wisdom, generational wisdom, that an experience that they can pass down to us. But like I said, it depends on your intention. Why do you want? How are you approaching the situation? What is your reasoning behind going to your family or speaking to your friends? Do you want some advice, how to move forward, how to solve the problem, or do you want them to side with you? Do you want to be right? Is that the reason? Do you want do you want somebody to tell you that you are right so that you can go back home and feel that you are that you have a standpoint in an argument? I just also want to go to a comment where Giselle says, sometimes it's good to get advice from matured people who will check you if you're showing disrespect towards your partner, preferably someone who knows what's healthy venting and when it's toxic to each other.
Oh, wow. So
Charu, what is your take on that?
getting very serious.
Yes, I was going to just say the very same thing that Giselle said, is that if you're going to be toxic towards your partner, then that is not on. But I agree with her, and what I was going to say is that if you find yourself in a bit of a stalemate, you're not getting anywhere, I think the right word to use is venting, where you just go to vent. The guy may just, or the girl may just listen to you. And of course, you must choose this person carefully. Somebody who knows you guys both as a couple, and understand that I think that's mostly a venting session.
Yeah. And sometimes we need
Just
that.
to vent, just to give your thoughts. Sometimes the other person doesn't have to say anything. You know, it's just you letting yourself out. That makes sense. And then if the person really understands you, will sort of guide you in the right. But I'm saying, don't discount the fact that there must be an outlet for you. Otherwise, somebody will build up frustration, and there can be bad repercussions for that.
Exactly.
There must be an outlet.
No, you're right.
Because sometimes you don't feel like you can really express yourself to your partner in that moment, because they are also coming from an emotional standpoint. So when you, like you said, when you do vent, it is you wanting to release that emotion in order for you to then have a bit of more clarity when you approach that that topic or that argument or that situation with your partner again.
Do you want to do something special on the show? I'm going to give people a fright because Charu sent the wrong link. So let's give them a fright. Welcome, you're on the show. You have to hop onto the Charu's page, and then you can get the real show on that side. Hello, how are you doing? The real fright.
What happened there?
So is it Anand Singh?
And Anand Singh, don't have a fright. We brought you onto the show. Do you have your...
Charu, you sent the wrong link because there's a ton of people hopping on now. And if you're going to hop onto the link that the live stream,
we're going to bring you onto
the show.
So that's a joke. It's on our side.
Now bring them on. Bring them on.
Bring them on, yeah. So anyway, what were you still saying? Your question was?
Let's just go to one of the comments. Hailey says, there are always two sides to every story. We should not bias our family's opinion of them. We all have issues in our relationships. We should have the maturity to handle these issues behind closed doors. We can, in confidence, ask for advice, but bad mouthing them is not appropriate.
Exactly what I'm saying. And then Jackie goes on and says, relationship are give and take. So you must understand the person also. So you can't just expect me not to go and speak to my family. If that was ingrained in me and we are close and we are speaking to each other and we open up to each other. Do you like it when your wife speaks to your mother-in-law consistently?
For me, my wife speaks to my mother-in-law. No, I don't allow her to speak to her mother-in-law. She must speak to me first. She doesn't get a chance. We from an Indian family, we've got certain rules and regulations where you operate.
Okay.
I've set the rules at the beginning.
And then the
things you're talking about, I don't know about. It doesn't happen in my story. I've set the rules. This is where you operate. I don't know what you guys are up to, but listen, guys, if you want some advice, come talk to me. I'll put you right. The better stuff for you.
Everything stays within those four walls of your household. Nothing leaves.
Everything is here. I'm in
But by
control.
here's the thing though. You cannot say you have a right to speak to your family. I don't necessarily agree with that because, like I said,
But all women don't agree with that because they're scared of the mother-in-law.
no, because how are you carrying that over to that specific person? Your family, now you have an argument and you go and you feel like you want to vent and just let it out. Your family will always remember what you've told them. You can go back home and make up and be happy go lucky, but your family's never going to forget what you've said to them as to how your partner might have treated you. So if there's issues within your relationship, best person to speak to is your partner.
But
If you
what if your
don't,
partner don't understand you?
then it's your choice if you want to accept
That's what I'm saying.
that type of treatment.
Because
Instead of going and
sometimes, and you
badmouthing
say
them.
this a lot, and I think you can say maybe agree or disagree. Sometimes when you're in a relationship and you say this many a times, you can't see from the outside. You
Okay.
can only see from the inside, which blinds you sometimes. So
Okay.
you do need advice. And like I said, solicited advice can sometimes come from your family or so and stuff like that. But and getting advice from the outside is sometimes expensive. And not everybody can maintain it. And people have agendas. Who best to ask advice is the ones that you grew up with, the ones you trust. They can be the most envious, they can be Cain and Abel wise, or they can be loving.
But then you need to, I think the important part here is to evaluate your relationship with the person. If you have one specific person that you can trust, that you can open up to with your mom or your dad or so forth, or your sister or your brother, then you need to be able to evaluate that relationship and know, is this person going to be open minded? Is this person going to be biased or be open minded to
Can
whatever I
I?
share?
I'm just
They
gonna
want
step in there. I think
that's
think
important.
for me, and it's open to different people, right? I think I would rather open up to a close friend than a family member. Because family members, as you say, I mean, if I speak to my mom, she's going to be biased automatically towards me. What look at the story in my way, and then see my wife in a different light. My brother, my father, my sisters going to gravitate towards me. If it was me, and what I do is I like to feed off a friend who knows us in a relationship that doesn't have what is not biased to my wife or biased to me, that they are family friends and they realize I've come to them because I had nowhere else to go. They listen with an open mind, try to give me the best advice for both of us. But I think going to a family member to me would be last resort. I don't think it's the best option
Huh.
for me.
It's weird, eh? It's weird because a lot, like you said, now a lot of people have only friends to turn to because sometimes families are the ones that can be the most envious of you. So I get what you're saying, but I get the part where you say it could be biased advice, and you don't want that. You want proper constructive advice that won't enable you but also guide you. So that's also a good thing with anything
Yes.
you do in life. And I understand that. I'm also like that. I always look at two sides of the story. Even if it's my own story, I look at the partner's side. I always see, am I treating you fairly? Am I'm giving this relationship a fair shot? Am I making this argument fair? Like I had an argument with a colleague of mine over work. Let's go over the family. It's still a relationship thing. And yet I evaluated, am I bringing my deal into this topic, into this argument, into the space of this work thing? So let me not ask other colleagues that know me and know my work ethic. Let me go and ask someone from the outside, which is a client. How do you perceive this thing? How do you see this thing? So I get it's a good point. Rather seek advice first from someone else that you can trust, but also that doesn't have a biased mentality.
Exactly. And also, when it does come to sharing, you also need to share what was your contribution to the problem and not just the experience, the treatment you've received from your partner, but what did you also contribute? So if you're speaking about it solely to be able to um, relieve the problem, then it's important to share what it is that you've also contributed.
Mm,
So in a relationship, you want to be able to have a harmonious relationship and not
mm,
one there shouldn't be a power battle. So you
exactly.
shouldn't go and speak about it in order to gain power. You should go and speak about it in order to resolve the problem
Exactly.
and not create a bigger problem.
Okay. Maybe we take 3 comments, guys, because it will cover our faces, but it's worth the read, I think.
Let's just go to Hailey's comment first. Hailey says, emotional ranting is not advisable. Calm down. Think it through and speak to someone you trust. We should be able to share our feelings with our partner in a non-confrontational manner. Where there is a breakdown in communication with your partner, by all means seek sound advice. Know that it will be confidential.
Wow.
Exactly. That's the other thing.
We
When
can
you
break
share,
it. We can break it down now.
Okay. So Shazal also says, exactly, your family will never forget once you over the specific issue, and a few months later meet another issue. Very likely your family will bring everything up and add more drama.
Whew, this is a lot of points. I can see Lathia is going to break it down for you easily.
100%. Yeah.
Leonardo Patel says, hey guys, I think if for instance you have an issue and both are angry, I think taking a walk alone, clearing your mind, and when both are calm, I am sure you could have a chat and let your partner know how you feel. But sometimes your partner won't understand you, which then you have to make your partner understand by explaining to her that you consider both of us and will work at bettering the issue.
Oh wow, that's a good point. Sorry, I disturbed you there.
But
you
can I just say something here? That this whole thing about conversing, you must also understand and appreciate that whether it's the man or the woman. I mean, you find somebody, you're in love with them, you get married to them, whatever. But when it comes to conflict resolution, there's often a situation where one of the partners is just bull-headed, stubborn. And I've seen many relationships like that. And they're just stubborn to the extent where they don't want to listen. They don't want to. It could be the man, could be the woman. I'm not saying. In my relationship with my wife, not me, right? But I'm just saying that. I'm just putting that out there. But one of them is stubborn, bullheaded. They believe they are right and you are wrong and you must apologize. Now, those are, I'm sure many people listening can identify that this exists. So how do you now fix that situation? Or do you continue to just give in and allow everything to happen for this peace?
I'm gonna actually intervene there, and I'm gonna just be devil's advocate again. Say for instance, you have an argument with a friend or a nemesis, as people would like to call it. Like we made jokes earlier, people might be hunting you and stuff like that, but you do get that. But now both parties have their understanding and their perspective of how they want to see things, right? The same in relationships, Say for instance, I say, let's go out. You say, let's stay indoors. Both of us are right. It does not mean any one of us are wrong. The same as the DA fights for one thing, the ANC fights for one thing. Both of them think they're right of what they want. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Same thing with the relationship. So you need to understand it's not that that person doesn't like you. It's because that person can't get the perspective of how you are thinking towards things. And unfortunately, this is life, how people feel, because a lot of people, this is why we created the show. I know it's just about relationships, but you must think further beyond that, where people don't understand that everybody has a perspective and a way of looking at life. So you need to understand, I can maybe go out and want to sell tickets to go to the beach tomorrow every day. And the government are saying you should not go, but they have restaurants open at the beach in front, and people are sitting on the sand, but they're not allowed to go on the beach, which does not make common sense to certain people, but yet they feel they're right. So this is where clashes come in, because people don't look at other people's perspective on things. So now, this is where things come in. I love his comment. He says, clear your mind, take a walk, and go and read the comment. And so both of you can come with a fresh mind. Look at that person, like I said in the beginning's perspective. Look how that person is thinking. Why is that person thinking that way? Is there fear in that person? All those things. Same goes for a relationship.
With regards to...
No, I agree with you 100%. But I'm saying...
Go ahead, Caro.
That we're asking about, do you share your issues with other people? So when you find yourself in a situation, and you're talking to people who may be in that situation, right? Where the partner is stubborn, doesn't want to watch, pull their face, sitting in the corner, not talking, whatever, just continuously behaving in that fashion because, like you said, they believe they are right and you are wrong.
Mm.
So coming back to the topic, that may be an issue or a situation where we have to engage a third party to say, listen, this is where I am. We're at a stalemate. That's what I'm getting at. I'm getting at was one partner is refusing to listen. The walk doesn't work. The talk doesn't work. We're in a desperate situation where that's when you ask, can we bring in a third party to sort of mediate? That's what I'm getting at.
Of course. Yes, because not everybody might be able to communicate in that way. Unfortunately, we have an ego, and like Karu said, you at even in any relationship, whether it's with your mom or your dad, or you are going to feel that your way of thinking or your way of doing things is right, and you will believe that. But like you said, it is also good to get a party's perspective because you are emotional. You emotionally invested in that relationship, so you can be acting from an emotional point where if you can both speak to somebody that you trust, if there's something that you're butting heads on, both speak to somebody that you can trust, whether it be a pastor or a religious leader or a family member that you both can trust, that has both interests at heart. Then
Correct.
I would say be open with your partner and say, look here, we are struggling to come to common grounds with this issue. Do you think we should then seek third party advice that has the best interest for our relationship and not just for me or for you? So that's my opinion on that. Let's just go
The
to
show is going so quickly. I wanted to say now, let's go on
some
to
of
a
the comments
comment.
as
Let's
well.
go into a comment quickly.
Davidine says, you can speak with someone you trust, but explain the situation to the person without mentioning any names, that it seems it's someone else. So at that point, you can get an answer without that person knowing who it is. But here's the thing though, everybody has a different perspective because everybody has different life experiences. So I mean, here's the thing, you cannot also just take any advice that you've been given because their experience is far different to yours. And that is why I would say sharing or gaining advice together, because not if you're going to go to your mom, for example, or any friend, their experience in that specific topic might be,
But I'm gonna go back
it's
to.
going to be their own perspective.
I'm gonna
their own
stand on my
experience.
standpoint. I'm gonna take this comment and I'm gonna say a relationship are give and take.
Mm.
So you guys need to understand also, and you have your own choice in life. If your partner does not understand, if your partner does not accept what you're saying, you need to make a choice because life is about choices. Do I accept this partner to move forward, or do I blame this partner for my being, for my unhappiness? Because you can't blame anybody for what you're doing in life. You can't blame anybody for what's happening in life. That person has his own life to live. That person has his own way of living. If I feel like swearing every day, I swear every day. It's got nothing to do with you. Should not affect you. If I feel like praising God every day, I praise God every day. It should not affect you. I am not pushing my ways on you. If you're too weak to let me push, then you need to figure out yourself to be secure in yourself. Because there's a lot of people that say, yeah, but he made me do it. She made me do it. This is why we argued. Not, I accepted the argument. I could have ended the argument just there. I don't accept this. I don't need to argue about it. But because you're so emotionally in tune, like you said, that's why that comment makes sense again. Relationships are a give and take. And I'll just add with a choice. Hashtag.
I understand, Byron, but at the end of the day, it's easy to say you can accept X, Y, and Z, but it's not as easy to just walk away.
Of course, that's not what I'm saying.
Because if you've invested a lot of yourself in that relationship, you would like to make it work. And it's a relationship doesn't end by overnight choice. It's things that happens over time. It is patterns.
Okay, it's consistency of downbreaks.
Of course, it's breakdown patterns. So that's where the question comes in. At what point then do you share these issues if it is that you want to resolve issues within your relationship?
Yeah, let's give you the guess. We've been talking. This is the two of us. When we get into it, this is why the show started.
It's quite interesting to hear the different perspective, and I think we come back to the point that you find yourself. I think there's no. Can you share your relationship friends and family, there's no right or wrong. There's no yes or no. I think it
Exactly.
depends on the situation, depends on the family structure or the friend structure. Um, I can say I have one or two people that I may be my go-to people and say, listen, this is a venting situation. I walked away. Even when I went for that walk, I had to walk to my neighbor's house and say, listen, "Ha, ba, da, da, dee, da, da." I didn't even expect him to answer. I didn't want him to answer. I just
Mm.
needed to blow it off. He might tell me, listen, go back, try again, or something like that. But there's no right and wrong answer. It's on the situation. Look, even people who talk a lot, who communicate very well, there could be a situation where at some point they reach a stalemate. They just can't reach a decision,
Mm.
and it needs an outside influence or mediator.
I get completely what you're saying.
But going back to what Kari also said, that he would rather prefer to share or vent to a friend, because a family is a very close relationship. You marry into a family, and sometimes, like they say, familiarity breeds contempt. So when you spend a lot of time with your in-laws, there can also be a situation where there are personality clashes within that family structure. So be careful also, men and women, if you do decide to share your relationship issues with your parents, especially men, because I do know that when it comes to mother-in-law and wife, there's in most I'm a woman. I've heard a lot of complaints from some of my women friends. So just be careful when you do to choose to know what to share, if you want to share with your mother.
Let's just take two comments. But before I take the serious comment, this is my mate. He got married last night. He said, Byron shares all his issues with me. I know all his secrets. I know all yours also.
Let's just go to Shazal, because we actually coming towards the end of the show. So Shazal Govender says the most beneficial is finding similarities in relationships within your friend circle and ask how did they move on from this issue, and how did you deal, or how did they grow from it, and decide if you want to apply to
Good
your
question.
own relationship.
Good question. Answer.
Perfectly said. So you decide what advice you want to take and what advice you feel you just want to not reject, but apply.
Smart girl.
Sorry, your mic went off there.
Karu?
Smart girl, smart advice. But
Exactly.
when anyone gives you advice, I think you have to process the advice and think if that's right for you. You go to someone for advice doesn't mean you have to follow that advice. They might tell you five things. One of those things will hit home with you, and you decide that. I think ultimately you have to make that call as to how you go back to your home with your wife, with your husband, and address that issue with your own relationship knowledge, knowing the person. Like, for example, I would know if my wife is upset with me or whatever. I have to let the whole night go through. Next morning, you're more amenable to listen. At that point, you have a standpoint. You believe you're right. I walk away. Let the night go. Tomorrow morning, things have calmed down a bit more. You have an ear. You want to listen. So I sort of use that sort of thing in my relationship, and because I'm understanding my wife, I'm understanding her situation, how she deals with the situation. So sometimes walk away.
Walk away. He just walked away. We need you
Karu,
back.
we want you to share a few last words on the show.
I think it's data win. I think that was the posy data. So guys, before we're just gonna wait maybe for him to pop back on. I don't know if you can send him a message, pop back on there. Don't be scared. I think his wife came in and she pulled the plug. So this the contradiction of the show. There wasn't any contradiction. The show's contradiction was just that everybody, it's a give and take in a relationship, I would say. So in the end of the day, Casey will hop back on now and he will share some last words with us, because this is what we do at the end of the show. Like Giselle, like if I can say it said earlier also, it's all about give and take. in life also. It's
Mm.
all about how you share that relationship with that person also. So our conclusion at the end of the day, yeah, your wife pulled the plug. I know it put off the data, the Wi-Fi.
Yes, yes.
So we're at the end of the show, and I just want to finish this point I was making. I was getting to a point where I said our conclusion was like, do what's best for you. Basically, if we all agree on,
Mm.
do what works for your relationship.
For whatever is the best, you need to also have the best interest for your relationship and not the best interest for
So
yourself.
that's right. Yes, that's mainly what we're saying. Perspective.
Perspective, exactly. So Karu, what we do, we have actually came to the end of the show, and what we usually do at the end of the show, we allow our guest 2 to 3 minutes just to share value, and especially with you have many people that is tuning in that also loves
Yeah.
following you, share value or anything. It doesn't have to be about the topic, it can be anything, even with regards to COVID or
Yeah,
just
but
general advice
why
that
we
you'd
do
like.
this is because everybody's been going through this COVID. Everybody's been clashing. People's out of jobs. People's out of work. People are struggling. We're all struggling. And some people need encouragement. They might find you funny. They find you serious at some points. But you're doing the things you do because you're committed to life of encouraging people also. Even though some people won't like it, but some will take the word. So we want you to encourage our viewers today.
Yeah, so thank you for that platform. And I have, if you're following my platform, you know I'm getting a lot of hate, a lot of people anti me because I speak my mind. What I've decided to do from yesterday, after some serious issues with people throwing hate, I've just decided to spread positivity. It's a season, it's a festive season. And I've been telling all my fans and followers, even today, I was live, I was playing some Boney M music, I was in the spirit. You see my decor on my chair and my wall. I'm just spreading positivity. I'm saying, guys, from now till the 15th of Jan, whatever, just park all your issues. If your neighbor doesn't talk to you, go and greet your neighbor. If you're having problems with your brother, your family member, your sister-in-law, just park it. And one of the things I'm saying is that the only reason why we refuse to park the issue or to forgive is because we have ego. Our ego is the only thing that stops us from forgiving someone or asking for forgiveness, because we want to be the winner. So I'm saying to everyone this festive season, park your ego, put your ego aside, forgive everyone, forget everything, move on. Even if it's for a couple of days when your family is there and whatever, just share in I want to share in this joy in this Christmas period. I'm not even a Christian, but I want this family festive atmosphere of just loving everyone, sharing the love. Even my haters, I want to hug my haters, kiss them if I can. Just show them the love. That's all. Just show the love, share the love. Take off till the 15th of Jan. You can start your hate again if you want. But for now, over the festive period, just try to love everyone. One love, share the love. Just breathe. Just be positive. Just share the love. Enjoy the festive season. It'll bring so much of joy in you, your own personal joy, when you release the baggage that you've been holding. If somebody didn't like you, somebody's holding you back, release it. Just enjoy. Even if it's for a few days, few weeks, enjoy.
Love that.
Well done. We all have that in us, man. We all have that.
Exactly.
People think you don't want to encourage them. Look there, man. You've been arguing too much, man. You've got too much encouragement. That's why.
And I love the fact that you are celebrating with also the festive season. And like you said, you're not Christian, but your acceptance to the festive season, to Christmas or whatever other celebrations there
No,
are.
but I think it's Christmas. He's Christian, man. He was singing the Lord our Savior with Boney M too loud
we
earlier.
saw that one, Casey.
Oh, it was beautiful. I love it. I even do Ron Canoli. I sing hill songs. Man, I embrace as much as I can anywhere. I think it's what brings us together, mustn't keep us apart. And if I do that, I can teach somebody else. And if you can learn my culture or my religion, then you learn something as well. So the reason I sing those songs is to show others, if I can learn about your religion, why can't you learn about my religion? And once we reach that stage, I deliberately sing those songs because I've been called a hater. So I said, if I'm a hater, how come I know this song? How come I know that song? How come I can quote from the Bible? How come I can do this? It's because I take an interest in learning your religion, take an interest in learning my religion. And then when we have that, bit more peace in the world.
Of course.
That's right. Yes.
100%.
Perspective.
That is the only way you will be able
perspective.
to have peace within the world is if we learn to understand each other much better. And
Mm.
what you're doing, you are being a guide for other people as well. That just because you are embracing somebody else's culture or embracing somebody else's belief doesn't mean that that is the way you choose to live your life. It's about togetherness and supporting each other and sharing in each other's joy and
100%.
festivities.
Wow. Thank
Karu,
you. Thank
thank
you
you.
so much. I don't know if you want to wait behind the scenes and we can talk to you afterwards. If not, you can go and apologize to your wife. It's up to you.
No, I'll wait a few,
Anybody know
I'll chat with you. I'll chat with you after scene. I'll wait a few minutes. That's fine.
Okay, cool. We're
Perfect.
just gonna end the show. It takes us a
Okay.
minute.
Sure.
We're just gonna end it. You can say bye to our viewers and to yours, of course.
Bye, guys. Chat soon.
Okay.
Tina.
Well, I enjoyed the show today.
Wonderful.
Perspective. I know, like you said, a lot of people might be off him. A lot of people might be hating on him, but we all have a way of living our life. It's just perspective, guys.
Of
Come
course. And what I love about Casey is that he speaks his mind, and that is why people are so afraid of him. But thank you so much to all the viewers for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. We loved all the value that you've also shared with us here tonight. Do catch the replay of the show on Cape Town Television on Monday at 9 p.m. and nationally on DSTV channel 263.
And we're going on a production break. So we're
For the
quite
festive
sad, but
season.
also happy because we're not going to be doing the show for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But we got guests lined up in January that your mind will be blown. I'm telling you now, your mind will be blown. Just watch out.
So go ahead, like and share this video if you feel that you've gained value from this video, and if anybody else in your network can gain value. And go ahead, like and share our page, like and share our Instagram, our YouTube, and our Twitter.
But before I go, there's no excuse not to watch it. If you don't have Facebook, you can have YouTube. If you don't have YouTube, you can have Twitter. We multi-stream on all these platforms live. So as we say each night,
We love you and
and
good
good
night.
night.